Hey everyone. So I just quickly want to go over the summary of FOMC minutes today and interpret the market reaction because it was a very bullish day for the markets, or at least that's how the market took it. Powell was very dovish today, and it's almost like he declared victory against inflation, which could be very premature. Because remember, a lot of the ease in inflation was due to the SPR release in gas prices. And I think the market commentators sort of took that victory as very premature as well. But all the risk assets clearly love what they heard because all risk assets took off. So let's just quickly summarize and then we'll go over some charts. So this is the summary of the Federal Reserve press release, and you can kind of go through it. But the summary basically what they said that the inflation has eased somewhat, and I highlight that eased somewhat, and also said that we're going to raise the interest rates by only 25 basis points. The other interesting thing that said, they said in support of these goals, the committee has decided to raise the target rate of the federal funds from to 4.5 in the range of like 4.5 to 4.75. And the other interesting thing that he basically said during his speech was that he and the rest of the committee will take into the account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, and economic financial developments. So I think that just basically it kind of told the market that we're going to pump the brakes a little bit and kind of wait and see approach to the interest rates and the general markets and all risk assets. And I think that was seen as a very dovish sign, and a very bullish sign for the markets. Because if you look at CNBC, they had, oh, right here. So CNBC basically said that Chair Powell declares premature victory. And they kind of outlined the same thing throughout the discussion. So, like, for example, if you go to SPY, right? SPY took off, and they clearly took that as a very bullish sign because it just broke that long-term resistance that SPY was kind of running into. The one thing that it's to be seen is that towards the end of the day, we had this little bit of pullback. So we know that the 410, 411 area has been the resistance, and then we were running up against this trend line as well. So the fact that we broke it and they continue going up, if we can maintain this sort of momentum and push above that 410, 411 and kind of hold that, then I think in the next week or two, we're clearly running to the blue skies. And I think 431 or 430 is the next target for S&P 500. And I think the same thing with Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin has had an impressive rally, and it's still staying above that 50 and 200 EMA. It's also running into resistance right around that 25,300, 25,400. So if it stays above and maintains that, it maintains that level as a support, then I think we are definitely witnessing a trend change. The one interesting thing that I want to highlight is that if you go take a look at the high Kanashi candles, right, and we'll just jump over to weekly. High Kanashi candles have been a very good indicator to sort of highlight a trend change. We did have a little bit of, I would say, uh, a hasty reaction, or a very confusing sign right around here, and because it turned from red to blue and then back to red and back to blue, and it was ultimately a fake out, right? So the only sign that I see a difference between the previous 2022 fake out right here and the current bullish trend is that the momentum is followed by volume. And that to me is a very clear indicator that people are accumulating. And as long as we stay above that $25,000 range and stay above the 50 and 200 EMA, I think blue skies, honestly. But we'll just, for now, kind of watch and see approach. and then see what happens tomorrow. If we have a follow through, then I think we're going high, because Meta just had their earnings, right, and they're up like, I believe, 20% after hours or even more. So this to me is also a very bullish sign for the markets in general, because it basically told the markets that Federal Reserve is going to ease off a little bit, and pump the brakes on raising interest rates in a very aggressive way. And that is a bullish sign for all risk assets. So we'll see what happens tomorrow as well, because tomorrow we also have, I believe, Apple, Amazon, and Google reporting their earnings, right? So if their earnings are good as well, just like the reaction that we saw from Meta, then I think we're going higher, at least in the short term. All right, I'll catch up with you guys later.